Every morning, you put something in your mouth that didn't exist 150 years ago. You trust it. You've never questioned it because it foams, because it tastes like clean. But foam isn't cleanliness. So let me ask you something. Before the tube, before the mint, before the plastic brush, what did humans use? Not a product, not a brand, a stick. They chewed it until it became a brush. They cleaned their teeth with wood. No chemicals, no advertisements, just something grown from the earth. And here's what's going to bother you. It actually worked. Better than you think. This is the story of the chew stick and why something so simple quietly disappeared. Let's stay with that morning moment for a second. You wake up, your mouth feels heavy, tongue coated. You walk to the mirror. Fluorescent light hums. You uncap the tube. The smell hits. Mint, fake but familiar. You brush. 2 minutes, maybe less. Rinse, spit. And the world begins. We've been taught this is normal, even necessary. But here's a question the advertisements never ask. How did your ancestors wake up? What did they reach for when there were no tubes? Before factories, before chemistry, before the word fluoride meant anything to anyone, there was a tree. Not a special tree, not exotic, just a tree that grew near rivers, near homes, near footsteps. They called it by different names. Meswak, chew stick, toothbrush tree. But the action was the same. You cut a thin twig, about the length of your hand. You peeled the bark back, just a little, from one end. Then you chewed. Gently, slowly. The fibers separated, became soft bristles. Natural, gentle. And here's the part modern science is only now catching up to. The chew stick didn't just scrub. It released compounds. It didn't just clean. It healed. Quietly. Naturally. Without needing to be understood. No factory. No preservatives. No shipping across oceans. Just a branch. And knowledge. Let's name it properly. The Salvadora persica tree. Known for thousands of years. In ancient Babylon, they chewed its twigs before prayers. In Greece, Theophrastus, the father of botany, wrote about it. In the deserts of Arabia, travelers carried chew sticks instead of water for cleaning. Because here's what they understood that we forgot. The mouth is not separate from the earth. When you put something natural into your mouth, it speaks to your body. Oils communicate with gums. Fibers massage without scratching. And bitterness? Bitterness wasn't a flaw. It was the taste of cleansing. The World Health Organization actually studied the miswak. They found it works as well, sometimes better than modern toothpaste. For plaque, for gum disease, for bacteria. No foam, no advertising, just a stick. And yet, you've never seen one in a store. This wasn't one person's secret. It was humanity's memory. In West Africa, the Paco Igi. In India, the neem stick. In ancient Egypt, they used the arak branch, alongside crushed eggshells and myrrh. Not superstition. Observation. They saw that certain trees made mouths feel clean. Chewing them stopped the pain. The elders who used them kept their teeth longer. No clinical trials, no double-blind studies, just ancestors watching, learning, remembering, and passing it down for 10,000 years. Until, in the late 1800s, something changed. Not because chew sticks stopped working, but because convenience became a product. Toothpaste arrived in a jar, then a collapsible tube, and suddenly, cleanliness had a brand. You didn't need a tree. You needed money. You didn't need knowledge. You needed the right label. And the chew stick? It became primitive, something from the past, for poor people, for villagers, for those who hadn't caught up. But here's what they didn't tell you. The toothpaste industry didn't invent oral hygiene. It replaced it. Foam replaced function. Flavor replaced understanding. And you know, convenience is not always wisdom. We traded the forest for the factory, and most of us never looked back. But not everyone forgot. In parts of the Caribbean, especially among Rastafarians, the chew stick never left. They call it the toothbrush tree. Some grow it in their yards. They rise in the morning, walk outside, break a twig, chew, pray, live. No plastic, no waste. When they're done, the stick goes back to the earth. Not a landfill, not an ocean, just soil. They didn't keep the practice because they lacked access to toothpaste. They kept it because they never believed a tube could be better than a tree. And watching them, you start to wonder. Not everything ancient was abandoned. Some things were protected. What did we lose? Not just the chew stick, but the rhythm. The act of walking outside to clean your mouth, of touching a living thing before touching your own body, of knowing exactly where your hygiene comes from. We brush with chemicals made in buildings we'll never see, sealed in plastic that will outlive our grandchildren, flavored with artificial mint grown in a lab. And we call it progress. But progress doesn't always mean wiser. Sometimes progress just means something different. And sometimes the old way was never broken. What we use today isn't what it used to be. That's not an accusation. It's an invitation. To ask, what else have we replaced without remembering? What other ancient tools are hiding in plain sight, dismissed as primitive? The chew stick didn't disappear because it failed. It disappeared because something louder arrived, something shinier, something sold. But the earth still grows those trees. And somewhere, someone is still chewing, still remembering, still clean in a way no tube can replicate. There is a verse, older than toothpaste, older than the factories, written in a time when wisdom still walked with nature. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Proverbs 9:10. Wisdom begins not with what you buy, but with what you remember. If this stirred something in you, if you felt the weight of what was forgotten, speak to us in the comments. Tell us, what old ways have you rediscovered? Like this video if you believe some answers grow on trees. Share it with someone who still chews the old way. And if you want to keep uncovering hidden roots, subscribe to Hidden Roots Archive. The truth didn't disappear. We just stopped reaching for it. And now for a final consolium. Science is not always wisdom.